Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for your patience there. We'll probably get a few more that'll join a little bit later. But yeah, so I think this is going to be like the final Q&A really for the year. Um, and it's really a chance for you guys, obviously, to ask questions about the course or anything you go through personally. The second half at 4 o'clock, if we get people come in, it's a chance then for me to give you some coaching demonstrations. If I haven't done that on this session, you can stay for the next one. So, really, I think it's important that we take some time to reflect on this year because I don't know about you, but this year felt like it was slow to begin with, but then it's just kind of like speeded up. And before I know it, the Christmas tree will be in the living room and I'll be hiding the elf somewhere in the kitchen for Amelia. So it's really just to kind of give you guys a little opportunity just to reflect back on your year, myself included. I'm going to do the little exercise that I've got with you. And also just to really think about what you do want to materialize in the months that we've got left as we kind of close out 2025. But before we get into anything like that, I want to just open it up to Q&A because that's what this is for the coaching course. So anybody who has a question, it can be business related, course related, personal, feel free just to unmute yourselves and ask away. Joanne, it'd be interesting to know how you're getting on with the course because this is the first time you've been able to make one of
Yeah.
the calls. So it's really lovely to have you on.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Last time I missed due to
The time.
the time.
Yeah.
I didn't calculate, but now I did. So good to see you all.
Yes.
I'm Jeroen. I'm from the Netherlands. I work as a professor in community work, and I started the course, the program in April, the end of April.
Right.
And I think I'm already in terms of finishing. So the reflective practices I made to round up each module. I'm now on the part of the chakras, so I'm just
Yeah.
following as a good student. I'm following the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
The structure.
Yeah.
Now, for me, it's a joy to do the master course, especially in relation to the subjects. They really interest me, and I'm really looking forward to delve more in the chakras part, and of course in the meditation modules. And right now, it's not that I'm stuck, but I'm just like on a threshold of doing the 3 assessments.
Mm-hmm.
There's one assessment, I think it's around the part of grow. There's
Mm-hmm.
one around of the set, and the
Yeah.
third one is around I think it's about subpersonalities. Yes. And I found some friends of mine who would volunteer.
Right.
But I realized, well, I have two. They're quite. One is quite practical.
Yeah.
If you just follow the structure, for instance, of grow, it's very hard to do it in 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's a time limit connected to the assessment, and it's a very practical question: is can I just cut in the recording and send you the 20-minute part, something like that?
Yes, you can, or I would say challenge yourself to try and do it within the 20 minutes because it'd be interesting just to have a play around with this for you to see why do you think it needs to be longer.
Yeah. Well, especially in the subpersonalities part, because I've been watching the tutorials
Yeah.
you made, and in order to round up, I rehearsed some it, and you just sometimes you want to take some time and not rush through
Definitely for
the structure.
subpersonalities. Yeah, take an hour for subpersonalities.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely
But
for
I can imagine, you know, the other ones you can focus on a specific topic and just. But the other one is just more elaborate in a way, and you don't want to, you know, rush your coachee into the this and this and that and okay. But that's thank you so much.
yeah.
And the second question is, well, it's actually also very practical. It's had to do with finding coaches for the 40-hour required assessment. No. For the assessment, the required coaching hours. And so that's something I'm really not having a solution yet for that.
That's okay. So you don't need to do those coaching hours to finish this course. You can acquire those coaching hours after the course.
Okay.
So those coaching hours really are for if you want to go for your accreditation with the IAPC&M. So don't feel like you're under so much pressure to have all those coaching hours done. You can take your time.
Oh, wow.
You can, it's when you're ready to apply for your personal coach accreditation, if that's the path you want to go down. And that might be next year.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be while you do this course. I mean, it is helpful, but you will accrue a lot of coaching hours doing this course because every module has a bit of an exercise. So you can, even if you try an exercise with a friend or family member or a fellow coach, that can be part of your coaching hours as well.
Okay.
So you can, any bits of coaching that you do, you can pop them on your coaching log.
Okay. And so, for instance, one of my big dreams is to organize retreats with a friend of mine who was also very engaged in coaching around spirituality. So, for instance, no, I'm not. It's not a job. It's not a job. But I'm thinking about we want to organize these weekends. So
Yeah.
we have like 2 days of 6 hours. Could that just count for? But the first thing. Sorry, I don't want to rush things. But the thing was. But also, of course, I can use those also. If I don't need to have finish the 40 hours before we can
Yeah,
organize that.
absolutely. Yeah. And that can account for your coaching hours as well. If you've used a coaching skill with somebody, if you've had a coaching conversation with somebody.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So these are the practical questions, and I just want to say, now I'm on the module of chakras. I was already very interested in working with chakras, doing Kundalini yoga, etc. But what would I say? The knowledge around this and these biophotons and all, us being energetic beings, that really opened up a whole new perspective on coaching for me. So I just want to share that. So very
Amazing.
grateful for that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's so fascinating. Have you got onto the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy yet? That'll probably be next.
I think that's the next one.
That's the next one, yes.
Yeah.
So if you are planning on doing retreats with your friend,
Yeah.
then they're perfect workbooks to bring in.
Wow.
So, yeah, you've got your 7 chakra workbooks in the 7 steps, but then you've also got access to Awakened Heart Healing, which is 4
Yeah.
chakra workbooks. So they're perfect for retreats and workshops and one-to-one coaching, really powerful work.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little look at them and
I will
bring them to your weekends, which would be lovely. Has anybody started working with them yet? No, you've not, Emma, yet. Not yet. Yeah, they're really, really powerful workbooks. So I would definitely say if any of you are thinking about running a program, or you want to take clients on a VIP or a retreat or anything like that, or even take them away for a weekend VIP retreat, you can use these workbooks. Really powerful stuff. So you've got them at your fingertips now.
I was just going to say, I haven't I haven't done much in the last couple of months. I've kind of had to take a back seat, as you know, with personal stuff.
Yeah.
But, yes, I do plan on getting back into it all again. So I'm up to like subpersonality stage. So
Amazing.
yes, I should be looking for people to help do my, you know, my assessments on. So if any of you lot want, lovely, lovely.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if any of you lot want any help, then yeah, I've been around for a little while, but so I know other people. It's, yeah, I've had to take a little bit of a break, so I am back now and gonna get in there again. So
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's really helpful because subpersonalities is a funny one, really. Um, so just coming back to the grow that Joanne mentioned. So grow conversations can take place within 5 minutes. You really want to get this grow and smart in your brain as just a little step framework, and as they don't have to go in order. So you don't have to go GROW, SMRT. They can jump all over the place. But what you're doing is number one is you're making sure that goal is specific and measurable. So basically, so you know that you've helped, you know where you're leading your client, and your client knows where they want to go. And without the markers in place, like what's the goal? What do you want to achieve? How will you know when you've got there? I'll just let Catherine in 1 second. One moment. She's joining now. Yeah. So helping you, number one, as a coach, but also sometimes your client, because as you may have experienced already, clients will have big, lofty, personal, inner emotive goals, like feeling happy or more peaceful or less stressed. And without actually knowing specifically what less stressed or more happy looks like to them, and what changes, what will be happening in their life as a result of them being more happy, without asking those like specific questions, so you can measure the goal. Going to take you from here to here. That's your measure. So what does here look like where you are now, and what does here look like where you want to be? Tell me in detail. That's a measure. So without the measure, you're going to struggle to get them to where they want to be. And you may think you know where that is, but they've got a completely different idea of where that is. So you're going to be misaligned throughout your coaching. So Grow and Smart really are about just helping people nail down on the actual goal that they want to achieve. What's the goal? How can we measure it? Is it specific enough? Being happy, it's not specific. How can we make it more specific? What might get in your way with the obstacles, the reality, where are you now? Like, you can even use on a scale of 0 to 10, how happy are you right now? 10 being ecstatic, couldn't get any happier. That's a measure. Well, I'm a 7. Well, where would you like to be? A 9. Okay, well, what makes it a 7 right now? What contributes to that being a 7? So these are all. Jerome, did you mean to raise your hand? Yeah. Yeah, just shout out, don't you worry.
Well, thank you. Also for explaining more practically to work with Grow. As you progress through the course, you get a lot of techniques and a lot of steps and a lot of angles. And I'm figuring out, when I'm imagining having like a conversation or like a coaching session, there's so much you can choose from. And I feel like you have to do for instance, different perspectives of a number of times to get acquainted with it, because otherwise I would just have all the module books in my lap and just see what I have to do next.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is a process and while there are different different angles you can use, or different methods, and then sometimes I feel like, oh, but I know a lot, but I can't apply it all. So I feel like can imagine when you have a session, that you feel like you're not doing completely justice to the client, because you know all the stuff, but you're not yet there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I know what you mean. Um, and I always say, as a coach, you really don't need any techniques other than the ability to ask great questions. It really is a mindset shift that you're looking to make with a client, and that normally comes down to their internal belief system. That's the thing that's creating their reality right now. It's a belief system. And if you can just get to the root of why they believe that about themselves, about other people, about their place in the world. If they can change their perspective on that, then their whole reality changes. So the only technique you really need is your ability to be able to do that and understand the mind and understand how our brains get conditioned from early childhood, helping them see the beliefs that they've got and helping them widen their perspective on that as well. So then they can challenge their own belief system and say, okay, yeah, well, maybe that's not completely true. Maybe that's not the whole truth. There is another way that I can do this or look at this or achieve this. So techniques are great, especially, I mean, I do love subpersonality techniques. I love the set, grow is so helpful as well. Um, but again, they are just helping the client get out of their stuck self to go, right, okay, I see now. I see now. I feel differently now because of a bit of a shift. So, there are so many techniques and they are all helpful. Values are helpful, strengths are helpful, human needs are helpful. People love to know more about themselves. So the techniques are great for that, maybe in between sessions, if you have a client that feels, that they love doing this stuff because they're just learning about themselves, then they will love techniques. But maybe in the future, you will get to a place where it's just literally you in the room and that's you make the biggest impact.
I have a follow-up question on that. If I'm reflecting on my own process of the last 18 months, I feel like it's been, my spiritual practice just has yeah, changing your inner belief system for me has meant doing a lot of meditation, doing a lot of somatic work, walking, writing, EMDR. So that has been like a big and wonderful journey. So, and I feel like that was required for me to be able to have access to that internal belief system, but also having the presence and coherence just to be able to tap into those, to be ordered to change them. So, and I feel like it's not. I feel like just identifying the internal belief system is just a little step on a much larger path.
Yes. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, sorry, having connectivity issues. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry at all. So no, you're completely right. Having the awareness is always the first step towards being able to change anything. Because if you're not aware, if you don't want to be aware, if you don't have the capability, or the desire to be aware, then nothing will change. So having the resources to be able to tap in to, number one, just cultivating self-awareness, self-reflection, deep introspection, that's where it all begins, really, with the questioning, with the internal questioning. even with the external questioning or the existential questioning, you know, that's where it all begins. That's the catalyst, isn't it? So normally your clients are coming with a sense of what's going on. You know, I am butting up against this. I really want XYZ in my life, yet I just can't get there. What's going on? So that's their question, isn't it? There's an internal conflict that's going on. And then you have multifaceted techniques to get them there. And you know, when you're coaching somebody, the first couple of sessions really do need to be about presence and rapport and trust and safety. You know, on a first session with somebody, you really can't expect to have a profound subpersonality session with somebody because they don't feel safe. They won't feel safe unless they're already really, really safe and secure person. And I'll tell you, you know, if I've gone and had a session with somebody for something, I am not feeling safe because that was just my default nervous system was not safe. It was defensive. It was to keep people out, and I can't be vulnerable. It's not safe for me to be open. It's not safe for me to be vulnerable. So therefore, anybody who tried to go in too quickly with me without building up energetic safety, it was going to fail. So a lot of coaches, they do want to steamroll in with techniques. They feel that that's their job. They just want to kind of like do it all with their client, but it's overwhelming. A client wants to be listened to. They want to feel a sense of unconditional positive regard. So you know, you're not in any level of ego state with them or hierarchy. You are equal people and you're both in it together type of thing. So there's no, you know, it's just completely a non-judgmental space. And then once you feel like you're getting that presence every time with your client, and they might start saying things like, I've never told anybody this before. I've never actually said that out loud before. You know, that's when you know you're really in a great coaching client relationship with them. Then you can start to really lead them deeper and deeper. So inner scripts is a great activity. So, you know, one of my favorites is the inner scripts and moving beyond the inner scripts. It's really recognizing what experiences in our childhood have created a fantasy script. One day I'll be rescued. One day somebody will come and find me. You know, one day this fantasy script will, whatever it is, will be played out. Somebody will say that I'm a superhero and I'll get all the accolades, whatever it is. So we can understand that we've all got this like little fantasy script that we've created through unmet needs as children. And if we don't work on that, if we don't realize that, if we don't kind of move beyond it, then that is always going to keep playing out. The need to be rescued, do you know what I mean? The need to be kind of whatever the fantasy script may be. Does that make sense? Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
So lovely to see you.
Yeah, and you?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Sorry I'm so late.
Oh, you're okay. Don't worry. And Catherine, welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. Nice to see you all.
Yeah. So this first part of the call is just about the course. Any questions you might have. It is being recorded and will likely be used on social media. So hopefully that's okay. If not, don't share anything personal or turn your camera off. It's up to you really. But it's a Q&A session and then I'll lead into coaching demonstrations in the second half. So do you ladies have anything course related or personal, anything you're going through related to your studies? Just this is your space really to ask away.
I think for me, I think I'm at the moment I'm doing the course, and I must admit I've sort of thought that I'll do a bit here at the weekend, and then haven't got a chance. So now I've sort of really focused now and dedicated on doing bits in the week, as well as getting some done at the weekend, with the intention of going to finishing it. But I suppose what I'm worried I'm at this point where I'm sort of thinking, how am I going to know what tools to use, and how will I remember them all? And
Yeah.
when I sort of sit down in front of a client and think, oh God, which one am I meant to use, and I can't remember it all, and and thinking, will I get to that point where I'll just and it's really lovely hearing you say that the first couple of sessions actually are just about building that rapport and that relationship. So I won't have to think about the tools in the first couple of sessions, but then I'll definitely need to bring something. So how am I suppose going to get from this point to that point where I'm a real life coach?
Yeah, and it's a great question. We just touched on it. Coaches think that they need to have this like bag of tricks, when that you really don't. You just need to understand what it takes to help a client make a shift, a change of perspective, a broadening of awareness. But those tools that we've just talked about, inner scripts, moving beyond the script, the sets, the subpersonalities, understanding grow just when your client has come and they have a goal. So first session, it's always about what is it that you want to achieve? What's brought you here?
Right.
If in 10 years' time you want to look back on this day and know that this marks the beginning of a journey towards your greater success,
Yeah.
where's this road leading you to? What do you really want for your life?
Mhm.
And nail down that goal. And then they might say something like, oh, I want to kind of like live the life of my dreams. Right, okay. So specific, measurable, realistic. Where are you now? Yeah, what might get in the way? What's going to help you get there? So really nailing down the specifics of the goal. What does the life of your dreams actually look like? And there will be an exercise in your toolbox that you can actually give them and say, after this session, I want you to go and write this down and we'll talk about it in the next session. Something like that. That's if you want to. Or you can just talk about it in the session.
Right.
So then you've got a bit of a roadmap then. You're
Yeah.
not just blindly punching in random letters on the sat nav and hope it's going to take you where you want to go. You
Yeah.
actually need to know. You need to hear it from the client. So that's always the most important thing. What do you want to achieve from life coaching? Where do you
Right.
want me to guide you? I'm going to walk this path with you. Where are we going? So nail that down and spend time there as well. And if you don't feel like it's specific enough, you go back and you talk about it some more. So don't think that you need to be perfect in your sessions, because you don't. I'm not. And on reflection, I think, oh, could have asked that. I should have asked that. Ah, why didn't I ask that? Oh, never mind. You can ask it again on the next session. You can say, I've actually reflected back on our last session, and I'd really love to just go back over some things with you. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. Okay. When you said this, I really wish at the time I'd have asked you this. So I'm going to ask you now, blah, 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 blah. And then just starts up. So you just need to be really, really curious and mindful around where you're going with your client and what type of questions you can ask and why you're asking those questions as well.
Yeah.
And then tools are just there, if your client really likes to feel engaged with things like that. Maybe they hate activities. To be fair, I would not enjoy activities as a client. I'd think, oh, this is just, I can't be bothered. So get the buy-in from the client. Is this what you like to do? Or would you just prefer us like talking this through during the sessions together? Or would you like space to do it at home? And then Yeah, not putting so much pressure. Whatever you've enjoyed the most, whatever you've got the most from during the course and the activities are likely going to be a bit of a go-to for you. And also, don't forget, you've got the 7 Steps to Spiritual Alchemy coaching program. So you don't ever have to worry about a technique. You give them the workbook, they complete it, you hold space for them. What came up for you as you did that workbook? You take them through meditation. You might do a chakra alchemy session with them, which you'll come on to when you move on to the 7 steps. And you've also got the awaken heart healing as well. So you've actually got programs that you could be delivering to your clients. So you've got so much.
Thank you, thank you. I think my husband, he's used to me watching them on, so I think he thinks it's not live today. I'm going to kill him afterwards because he's
Wasn't it?
shouting up the stairs,
Oh, don't worry.
self on mute. So I'm so sorry, but
Fine,
no,
don't worry.
that's really helpful. Thank you very much. So I can sort of see it a little bit more now. So that's really helpful. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Oh, no worries. It's always a thing. Coaches want to kind of have all the techniques, but you don't need to right now. And you've got the course for lifetime access, so you go
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure. So would anybody else like to throw in a question or a comment or a statement or an observation? Okay, so let's just do a little reflective exercise. This really is just to help you see how far you've come in 2025, because I don't know how people feel about 2025, but I feel it's been a bit of a hard slog. Does anybody else feel that way? It's been challenging, hasn't it? So, but one thing I have noticed, and feel free to unmute yourselves for this, we'll just make it an open discussion. But one thing I have noticed about 2025 is it's pushed me to do more, to actually materialize some of the ideas, that things that were just ideas and may possibly have just stayed ideas had not felt the push and the squeeze, to get them done. So although it's been very, very challenging this year, it's actually helped me to be quite productive as well. So how does everybody else feel about their year so far?
That's really interesting because when you said also at the beginning, Anne-Marie, that it's been slow and then it's kind of sped up. So I absolutely felt that. And also my job came to an end at the end of July, and then I already had booked a holiday away for 3 weeks. And it's really given me time and space to download what has been and really to just start moving forward with starting my own business. But I haven't felt that, and trying to bring some ideas to fruition, but I haven't sat here and felt that I really need to push that. It's just kind of happened naturally and organically. And even as of like last week, I've just found a place where I can rent a therapy room
Nice.
to start working. So it's interesting how some ideas, and I just sit quietly and maybe go online and just think, oh, I wonder where would I find a space, or how would I do this? And it just seems to have happened. Having said that, it was a wee bit of courage to call places,
Uh-huh.
and I'm looking maybe to sort of start in November, and there's still a bit of courage needed to do that as well. But I'm like excited, nervous. I'm not nervous, excited. Does that make sense? I'm more really
Yeah.
excited about it. So, yeah, so just kind of resonating with what you've said there. Yeah, and really also thinking about what is it I'm going to use the word need in my life as opposed to want,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
what I don't need in my life.
Not like it. Yeah. What do you need? Yeah, I like that.
You know, and just I'm still going through this process of what is next in general, a whole kind of general terms. So, and as I said to you earlier, Anne-Marie, that this is because I've also not been able to focus on the studies, and I'm really excited about getting into the chakra piece as well. So, and that's really what I'm going to be focusing on as well going forward. So this is all just, yeah, it's kind of organically just happening, and I'm just saying,
Yeah.
okay, let's just do it. Let's.
Amazing. And I think Jerome said earlier it's onto the chakras. So maybe when you get onto the 7 steps, you can partner up, because it's really important. Obviously, you do the workbooks on yourself, but also that you do it on other people and that you hold space for them, because those workbooks are really, really powerful. And there's so many different ways that you can do this. But the thing is, the workbooks actually do the work. So if you'll only understand that when you do the workbooks yourself. And sometimes you don't need to coach really with those workbooks. The workbooks take them on a bit of a 360. So then you just kind of hold space for them should they want to share anything, take them through meditation, open it up to a share, what really came up for you during those workbooks, what insight did you have on that workbook? And then there's an embodiment journal with each workbook as well. So in between the big workbooks, the chakra workbooks, they've got embodiment work to do. So that's where they're putting the process of change in place in between working on each chakra. Really powerful stuff, that.
Thank you. I look forward to doing that.
Yeah. Sarah, what about you, lovely?
Yeah, so I've been struggling, especially the beginning part of the year, not really knowing exactly what route I want to go down. So I've been doing sort of lots of chatting to people and lots of sort of just generalized coaching, but I don't know, I've been stuck. I've been on such a healing journey, and I feel guided to help others on that journey, as you know, but just looking for how do I do this? I mean, it's such a massive, great big once you sort of dip down into it, I've just found that once you're down the rabbit hole, there's that many sort of aspects you can go into it of, and I've really been struggling. But then just more recently, things have come up for me, like somebody contacted me, and it's all sort of seeds that I planted earlier on in the year, but felt like I was dragging my feet through the mud. Somebody had contacted me, and I'm doing my first in-person workshop, a health and well-being workshop. So I'm going to talk about coaching there and talk about the inner critic and some chakra stuff. And I've also been asked to be a guest speaker at a conference as well. So a few little things that I've not even looked for have just started to just kind of come trickling in. So that feels really exciting now, because it kind of felt like I was just coming up against walls all the time at the beginning of the year, and thinking, well, how do I get clients? Where do I find I know people out there need my help, but how do I find them? How do I get myself in touch with them? And I suppose I've just been sort of sowing the seeds and planting the groundwork, and now little things are starting to come into fruition. So yeah, again, going with, what you've said about this year, same for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Sometimes it is about timing, but it's really about perseverance, probably more than anything. It's the ability to persevere and not give up, because nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Nothing happens overnight. But if you persevere because you're so dedicated to it and you don't want to do anything else, you will make a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like you are. So well done.
Yeah. So I'm right near the end of the course as well. I've literally just got to send in my last coaching video. But I've been putting it off for such a long time. And I don't know why. And I've done quite a bit of coaching. I could have recorded any of them and sent them in. I don't know. I don't know why I've been doing that.
But it doesn't need to be perfect,
I
perfect,
know.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I can give you feedback as long as it's not completely off, or
Yeah.
all the way through, and you've missed it completely, which I very much doubt that's going to
Yeah.
be the case. It doesn't have to be, like I say, 10 out of 10. Just don't overthink it. Just no. If it doesn't meet, I'll just send it back.
Yeah.
Say, I'd like to see you do this, but so don't worry. But the longer you delay it, the longer you delay in getting that certificate.
I know. Yeah. I need to get it done.
Thanks, Sarah. Emma, how are you getting on? Lovely.
Hey, yeah, similar to what you said at the beginning of the year. I had like family loss and things at the beginning of
Yeah.
the year, and everything kind of slowed down a lot. But then since the summer, really, I don't know whether it is the season for sunshine and so you get a reignition of like life, and yeah, things have started to really turn around again. And like Sarah just said, unexpected things have started coming my way. So I did my first festival 2 weekends ago, which was, I was so scared. It was the first time I'd ever done anything in front of a cold audience, because obviously everyone I work with knows me or has followed me on social media or whatever. So that was scary, doing that in front of people who they were waiting outside the TP, and they were like, "What is it that you do? And what are you talking about?" And what? And I was like, "Oh
My
God."
God.
Yeah, but it was good, and I'm so like happy that I was brave enough to put myself in that situation, because it's taught me lots. There's a blessing in every lesson, isn't there? And even the things that went as I'd hoped, they didn't know. They didn't have a clue what I was going to do. Yeah, you just learn from it, and you're growing all the time, aren't you? So that was
Oh,
a
well
great
done.
experience. Yeah, thank you. And it
Yeah.
was so weird because I just turned up and this TP was all set up for me with fairy lights, and then I just did it and then went away. Because normally you have to prep everything yourself, aren't you, and set it up, and yeah,
Oh,
really good experience.
that sounds awesome. Well done.
Mm. And my mum came as well, which was nice because she said, "I don't really understand what you do and I'd like to understand a bit more." So she came along,
Oh,
so that was really nice as
that's
well.
gorgeous. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
pleased to hear that. So, anybody else like to share anything before I take you through just few little questions?
Well, I'd like to share also. I had a very difficult 2024. I think one of the most challenging. I even could imagine that I could live through that.
Mm.
So, but from the start of this year, I think speeded up in a, well, it's not about speed, but it's about feeling like I could just start to let go of life in a way, and of expectations about my life and how it should be. And I think through meditation and also somatic practices, I really, Kundalini yoga, I do it every day, just a short session every morning, and some breath work. And it feels like that really every day set this kind of foundation for me, just to have this contact with this, we can call it source energy or prana during the day, that I can be relaxed. Of course, I feel stress sometimes, but I feel I can just go back there and have to, when things get challenging, I just say, okay, I trust that, everything that will happen for a reason. I could just can be there. And I feel like this has become such a big part of me that I feel like life is actually going smoothly in a way. It just, the things are happening. It's incredible in a way. I don't mean that like I'm in a constant state of bliss, like walking on clouds all day, but in general, being able to incorporate all these kind of practices and insights and lessons put me like in a situation of trust, that no rush, no big efforts, no,
Yeah.
So that is really a turning point for me. And it feels like all the old anxieties, they're still in me, but they're part of me. They're not controlling me. So I cherish them and treat them with love. So as if all these things just started to, how do you call it, fall into place. Yeah. So that's been the year for me so far.
Yeah, I love that. It sounds like, you've really come to a place of connecting with stillness and presence and awareness rather than potentially using the mind to always try and solve issues or problems, whether
Yeah.
they're external or internal, rather than using mind power. In a way, you're kind of using whole body senses, connecting with nature, connecting with yourself, understanding there's a bigger, we're connected to something bigger than our physical body even. Yeah, so it sounds like you're really kind of tapping in to within rather than maybe trying to fix everything that's external.
Yeah, and also because I'm still in a grieving process, and also using it as like fuel.
Mhm.
So feeling the sorrow, being there with it, and just going there, it's like this kind of a treasure. So it's not, it's this like there's these double. There are different dimensions, of course, in my life as a whole. But
Mhm.
how we be able to connect with that is, that's also something completely new for me.
Mm.
Really uplifting. Yeah,
It's a
thank
really
you.
good point. Yeah, it's a really good point, and there's a great book. I was reading it a little bit yesterday, Molecules of Emotion by Candice Pert, and she says about all emotions are energy and motion, and if they don't have, if they're not able to complete the release, so they get produced and then they kind of need to go full swing, if you like, and have that follow through from start to finish. If they don't have that, then they will store in the body, and that's what creates all the havoc internally within the body, all the inflammation, or the stiffness, or the joint pain, the autoimmune, etc. So if we can follow the path of the emotion to see it through to the end, and whether our body like presents in a way where it makes a sound or it makes a movement, or we jump or we shake or we dance it out or do yoga or something that is able to allow that emotion to have its full flow, swing and leave rather than stay and be suppressed. So it's a really good point.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, there's just something I just quickly got before, so I'm just gonna grab it again. Okay, so just to invite everybody just to gently close their eyes just for a couple of minutes while I take you through this gentle visualization. Just to really start to notice your breath. Just taking some really beautiful heart-centered breathing in and out. Just starting to take any outer awareness within. And just feeling your body supported, whether you're in a chair or you're laying down. And with each exhale, just releasing any stress or any distractions from today. And with each inhale, just invite in clarity and insight. And I just want you to now imagine yourself standing on a path that represents your journey through 2025. Behind you lies everything you've experienced this year so far. All the challenges, all the wins, and all the lessons. In front of you lies the final stretch of this year. October, November, December, waiting for you to write the next chapter. So take a moment to really notice how far you've come and what still calls to your heart as you walk forward to complete this year. If you could accomplish one soul-aligned goal before the end of this year, something that would make you feel complete stepping into 2026, what would it be? I'm just going to count you all back from 3 to 1. So 3, just really reflecting on how far you've come and what that soul-aligned goal that your heart is calling forth. 2, just start to notice your back, your legs, your hips being supported. And 1, just wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be back with me. So I don't know if anybody has, you've got a pen, piece of paper, and you want to just jot it down, but when you're ready, just call out what came to you. I'd be really interested to know.
Getting back onto my course.
Yeah.
And sorting out the solicitor for the final part of the divorce.
Good, yeah.
So I know I've got a bit more Aggie to go yet, but at least I know that I've got all the messy stuff out of the way up till now. And now I know where I'm going. I've got my goals.
Okay,
So
well
I
done.
get back on.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear it. Anybody else just before we move into the second part?
I had two come up.
Yeah.
One was to finish my masters by the end of the year, and the other one was I've been working on a research paper with a neuroscientist, so to get, not necessarily have the paper written, but just have all the case studies and all the data in, and by the end of the year, so I've not got that kind of like hanging over me. So
Yeah,
that's the
sounds
two
like
that came up.
amazing. Well done. Okay.
For me, I'd like to get to a point, so I'm still not halfway to the course yet, and I think in my head I sort of thought I'm coming up to have been doing it for a year, so I'd like to at least get to the halfway point when I get to the year, which is in October. But I'd like to get to, maybe up to the chakras or something like that, really, by the time Christmas comes, so that I know that I'm quite far along. So I know that I need to be focused and dedicate my time to do that. But I know that now, I think. So yeah, so that's what my thoughts were.
Amazing. Well done, Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to let Bernie in. Hi, Bernie.
Hiya,
Hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet
Good.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. So we're going to go on now to the second half of Be Coach Live, which is basically everybody has an opportunity to bring an issue or a challenge to the room, and maybe I can help you change perspective and help you move forward towards achieving what it is you want to achieve. So hi, is it Aggie or
Until I unmute, I'm Aiga.
hi Iga, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi. So we're just going to move into the second part. So all the master coaches are here and we've done our Q&A, and then we go into Be Coach Live, which is the second part. So this is where people, on Zoom, get a chance to bring an issue or a challenge or a problem that they're coming up against to the room, and I can maybe help coach you and move you forward with whatever that is. But before I do that, I'm just going to go and get a lozenge from my throat because I can feel it's about to go into a coughing fit. So it won't be a minute, okay? Okay, I'm back. Right, so here we go. So I do sometimes use cards, excuse me, different types of cards. Sometimes I use interactive cards, which are like archetypal picture cards. And sometimes I'll use tarot cards. So it just depends on how I feel, really. So who would like to start? Does anybody have a big juicy problem that they'd like to be coached on? Bernie, I have a feeling that you want to say something.
I suppose I wasn't sure what to expect today. I was fascinated, I suppose, to listen in and watch you coaching people live. I suppose I hadn't really got anything specific in mind. However, my life has been quite up and down, and at the moment, I've just started a part-time job working in mental health at a charity called St Andrews, a thing called the Recovery College. My story basically is that I suffer from chronic pain. I had that for years.
Right.
And before that, I'd had a sort of career. I've been entrepreneurial, had businesses. I was actually a close protection officer, so I was working in jobs where I suppose I was in a heightened state most of my life, always sort of being defensive or looking out for danger because that was my job. The chronic pain led me to having sleep deprivation, and then my mental health crashed.
Yeah.
And I was given lots and lots of medications that were very strong, very intrusive. I didn't want to be treated that way, so I eventually borrowed some money to do the course, the health and wellbeing course with the Soul Awakening Academy. And I just found it was a revelation, because for me it had opened up this idea now that my new life was to help people like myself so that they didn't suffer through that process. The one thing with chronic pain that I learned though was that it was down to some severe traumas that I've had throughout my life. And this is now what I'm studying further with an organisation called SMRT that deal with chronic pain issues through John Sarno. I don't know if you're familiar with him, that wrote How to Beat Back Pain. And it was talking about, basically, it's a bit like the body keeps the score. It was on that same theme. And so I realised I've got a lot of trauma. The point I'm at now is I'm just trying to set up my own business as a coach. I've got experience in doing PT. I was also been a combat instructor and a martial arts instructor. So I've got sort of all those ingredients that I need, and I've had to turn away from a close protection life and realise that I now got to look after myself and look after others in a different way. So I suppose where I'm at the moment is I'm really struggling because I've been on benefits, because I lost my career, I lost my identity, I lost, everything. I've just got myself back to a point where I'm stable, I'm confident, my confidence has come back. So yeah, it's a sort of new chapter for me, and I'm just trying to launch as a sort of well-being, mainly a chronic pain coach, but certainly using more sort of trauma-informed methods, because I've started to see this a lot in a lot of people that I've spoken to, that very often it's a trauma or it's things in the past, old belief systems, etc., which is where they're struggling. But I still have bad days and good days, and yeah. So I suppose the only things that I was sort of stuck with was actually sort of moving forward with my business. And it was that catch-22 of how do I set up. I started doing sort of health and wellbeing talks at wellbeing centres. I do a lot of in-depth talks about the gut microbiome and the gut-brain connection. So, I've got myself a good sort of basis and understanding of what I want to do. But I can see a vision in my head of where I am. I can see my logo, I can see my brand, I can see the people I'm helping, I can see a happier life. And I suppose I am at a very stuck point. I'm not quite sure if where I'm working with people that are sectioned and severely mentally ill was necessarily where I thought I'd end up. But it was a part-time job in what they call the Recovery College. And that is just that word recovery. It struck a chord, because I thought that's what I'm doing. I'm still recovering. So I won't waffle on anymore, but I was just trying to give you a background of who I am, what I'm doing. And
so grateful for you to share that. It's so lovely. An amazing story, and well done. I just absolutely love stories like that. You know what, Bernie? I'd really love for you to join my SMART course for free as a gift to you,
Well, thank you.
which is happening. Hopefully, you can make it. It's on October the 4th and 5th. So I
Okay.
think it's in 2 or 3 weeks. It's online for 2 days.
Yeah.
But SMART technique is somatic memory repatterning technique, and it works with trauma in the body and
Okay.
with chronic pain and fears and phobias and belief systems. And Dee is one of our SMART students, practitioners, and Dee, you suffer with chronic pain, and you know, so Dee knows all about it, and Dee also wants to help people well, the people that have were where she was a few years ago. So, yeah, Dee, do you just want to share your story just slightly, because it's really interesting?
Very quickly, I was 4 years ago yesterday, actually, struck down with a virus called Guillain-Barré syndrome, where within like 24 hours, I was from going pins and needles in my hands and arms to completely paralyzed. I was then, my immune system attacks my nervous system. So it then stopped me breathing. So I was in a coma for a couple of weeks, came out. Then I literally had to learn how to sit up, walk, do everything again. And yeah, pain through the nerve endings is really bad. I'm now waiting 2 hip replacements, so I'm just in agony all the time. Anne-Marie did gift me the SMART course, so please, Bernie, do it. It's really good. And now I volunteer and help other people that have been affected by the Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's very rare, but those people again have no clue. They just want somebody to talk to that's had this syndrome to help them through, because there's not a lot out there that says, you know, about it all. And I've been working for GAIN, the Guillain-Barré syndrome charity, where I've actually been peer support, or just helping people understand what it's all about, but also going to be helping with stroke patients as well that have been in comas, etc. But yes, I have found the SMART technique really has benefited, taking some of my pain away, and then I've actually helped other people with the neurological side of it. It takes not all of the pain, but it does take it down. So when you've done it, Bernie, really have a go and see what your pain is like afterwards.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Bernie, I don't know if you mind me doing this, so tell me if this is a bit too intrusive, because you know, you can do that. You can say no. But obviously, you know the root cause of your trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just pulled I pulled one of these cards. Like, these are the like interactive cards. Sorry, I've got my screen on blur. You might not be able to see it. But I pulled a card to see what was at the root of your trauma. Are you okay for me to share that, or is it just a no-go?
No, absolutely. I'm quite open. Well,
Yeah.
within groups where I feel a connection, it's not
Yeah.
something I share with everyone, but I feel safe here. So that's
Just to
that's
say
fine.
that before I do this, and if we go any further, this is recorded and shared on social media. That's the only thing. So if you
That's
don't want
fine.
to, you know, okay. Now, it might not resonate with you whatsoever,
Okay.
but this is the card. Can you see that?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
When you think about the root cause of your trauma and you look at that card, how?
You know, I feel lost with it, I suppose. Some sort of loss or something going away, but I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I might take a picture of that and send it to you.
Okay.
But was the neglect?
No, I think one of the things I've found recently through a lot of psychotherapy is that I'm classed as neurodivergent, but which I suppose it's a slight autism, which means that I can now look back through my life and realise all the points where I was extremely sensitive, oversensitive. I reacted with anger or temper to protect myself. Um, I was present when my father died, and I had to make a decision as to whether to resuscitate him or not. And my mum stopped me because he'd got cancer, and that's played with me for a long time. It was that horrible decision making thing, and then I've had a personal close friend die as well very suddenly. But yeah, I've just found throughout my life I've misunderstood things. I've seen the world very differently to everyone else, and I think that has impacted me. And I've had this sort of sense of being the bodyguarding came naturally because it was almost like I wanted to take away the fear that other people had got because I'd got rid of that fear. I wasn't. I was involved in. I was beaten up quite badly at a young age by a group of older guys that were football fans, and I was just a schoolboy, and that impacted me and meant that I was very quick to defend myself, and then all about doing sort of martial arts and learning to to a completely different level, and having that sort of instant aggression all the time to protect myself because I felt so sensitive. So I think these have all rolled into making me who I am.
100%.
And but I've got great empathy and great understanding for people. I tend to see it, I feel it in people. I also see colours around people, which I'm not sure what that is, but sometimes I pick up on people's intent, which made me a really good bodyguard. And I did a lot of door work as well because I wanted to earn extra money to set up my businesses. So I used to work in the evenings as a doorman. And I really hate violence, but I like being able to stop it or be the peacemaker or be the person that comes in and calms it down. So for me, it was a challenge, but it was a strange environment where I didn't want to be scared of that environment. So I immersed myself in it. Does that make sense? So in terms of neglect, that doesn't quite resonate. But in terms of not being understood and feeling frustrated that people were short with me or didn't have patience with me, and I used to overreact and be very sensitive. That makes sense. Yeah.
It's weird, this card. It looks like like ghosts a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't get it into focus very well, can I? Can you see it now?
Yes.
So it looks like lost people, ghosts
Yeah.
almost makes me feel like not feeling present in the body as well, like a stranger. Yeah, a stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
funny.
have felt a lot of disconnect, and
Yeah,
it's trying to work out who I am and what I am. Some days it's it's been strange.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just part of your story, like you say, and it's funny. Like there's multiple people, children or whatever that they are. Have you ever felt like there's multiple versions of you or fragments of you?
I think I've had to put on. I used to call it like a bat cape, for want of a better superhero, but it was a mask. It was a have a look at the people around me and then try and work out how to protect my vulnerabilities, but then get on with them, resonate with them, or it was always a challenge to sort of try and be what I think that they wanted to see. It was, I've been through a lot with that.
Yeah,
I'm naturally warm and friendly, and so I suppose I can be spiky if someone upsets me, and it's a sensitive part of me. It's not the reaction I want, but it's to protect me. It's to sort of say, don't do that, don't hurt me.
yeah,
It's that sort of thing. But I've had to really break it all down, be very honest with myself, and I think having a breakdown and being at a point where even the doctors weren't listening and I was just getting hundreds of different types of medication. I'm so proud of what I did because I cold turkeyed off the lot. I knew what was best for me. I I've used holistic therapies, holistic health, and I've learned so much more spiritually about who I am and what I really am about and what I'm capable of. So
Yeah.
it's a new adventure for me now. This is.
Yeah. So let me think. So I just said, what is Bernie blossoming into? And I got this card. So this, how do you interpret that?
Again, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at. Could you just make it a little bit clearer?
Can you see?
Is that like a little boy that's in the
Yeah.
room and there's people leaving
It's a little
in
boy.
cars?
Yeah.
That's really weird because one of the night terrors that I used to have a lot was where I was stuck in a room and all my family were driving off the driveway in a car, and there was all this blackness coming in around that was encompassing the room in the house, and they'd left me and they couldn't hear me shouting that I wanted help. So that's what it reminds me of, a childhood sort of memory that I'd had, and I don't know whatever ever happened, but it was the fear of being left behind.
So when we think about what is Bernie blossoming into, it's kind of, for me, it says moving on from that. Is this one of your worst internal fears, do you think you've had?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you think about what is it you're blossoming into, and then you get this card, how would you interpret that? What's the meaning in it, do you think, for you?
I'm not sure. I suppose I'm less afraid and I'm more certain of things. I'm more confident in myself. And I know I've done a lot of work to understand why I interpreted my childhood the way I did. And particularly, I had a lot of diagnoses that were unhelpful. They were just labels, but they were indicative of what I was going through because of the meds. But knowing that I see the world slightly differently, I realised that I've really struggled with my oversensitivity. And that's been my biggest challenge, just so sensitive to everything, really sensitive. And for a bloke that's meant to be super tough, it's a tough mask to wear, especially when people are saying, "Oh, you're all right because you're you're Bernie, you're cool, you're this, you're that, you're a bodyguard, you've done this, done that." And I used to think that was like a cape I put on. It was like a mask and a cape where I could be that hero. But inside in a room, alone, no, I'm not really like that. I'm totally sensitive. So yeah.
And that's what you could be blossoming into. It's owning your vulnerability, isn't it? It's kind of owning that about yourself, it's not a fear, it's not something to be hidden anymore. It's actually something to be owned and embraced and shared. Going back to your earlier question about building a business and how do you do it, it's 100%. It's about sharing your journey.
Okay.
100%. It's got to be that first.
Yeah, I've been asked to set up sort of like this amends club locally because I've spoken to a few guys that I bumped into from the past, and they'd sort of openly once I told them what had happened to me, and I was open and said, yeah, the last 5 years I've been struggling. It's been bad. It's been dark. And then telling them what I'm doing now, straight away they'd suddenly say, oh, I've never told anyone this, but I've struggled with this. I've struggled with that. And then I spoke to another guy that said, would you set up a group locally? Because there's a few guys said they'd like to talk to you on a regular basis. So it was nice there's some, that's come into fruition automatically just by me taking the time to stand and listen to a couple of people that I would never have thought they were suffering, would never have thought they'd got problems.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so incidentally, my name is Bernard Bruns, and my nickname was Bear. So my business name is going to be Bear the Brun, because I feel like that's what I've had to learn to do. It's and can I teach other people resilience and how to bear the brunt in a storm, in a whatever's hitting you. And so I thought that was nice, because I never liked my name. People used to tease me about my name. And now I'm really proud of it because it means strong bear. So, so I just thought, yeah, great. I'm going to use my name. Everyone used to laugh at it, and now it's going to be my brand. So
Yeah, I love that.
I love that turnaround.
Yeah, that's amazing. And just that cardigan and the story that you shared in owning your vulnerabilities, and then actually the proofs in the pudding. You've shared your vulnerabilities, and then it's like, yeah, yeah, that's what we need, and that's what people have
Yeah,
been waiting for.
yeah,
So you can hold space for them. So that's amazing, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
So what was it? Because we went totally sidetracked, but about the business.
Yeah,
What
sorry.
was the question? No, it was me. But what was the question about setting up your business? Was it how to get started, or was there a question?
I think I know what to do. I suppose it was this sort of idea that I don't know. I suppose I've got jumbled with it because I've had businesses in the past where it's been about the branding and having all the collateral, having the message, putting it out there, and so on. And I suppose I've just found also I've had the finances to pay for things to get done, and this time I've got nothing. It's like a catch-22 because I can't afford to do many things because of I'm having to try and I've got the part-time job to try and bring in money to pay for another course that I really, really want to do.
Yeah.
So that I've got the accreditation to Surfer. But it's yeah, like I say, I was coming on this hoping that you were chatting to other people and I could listen in and see what you were doing with them. I hadn't really thought about myself. I was more interested in seeing what was going on with other people. So yeah, I believe I know where I'm at with the business and I know what I need to do. There's nothing specifically that I'm really struggling with. I think a lot of the barriers have been in my head. And there've been a natural fear of putting myself out there and saying, this is who I am now, or this is who I've always been.
Yeah, and that's where it starts. It's about sharing your story because you're the business, you're the brand, so you've got to share that personal story. So I'm sure you'll find the avenues once you start talking about it, they'll open up to you. But if you send me an email, Bernie, and then I can send you all the information about the SMRT.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That's great. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure.
Sorry if I go off on tangents a lot. That's what I do.
No, don't be daft. I was taking you all around on tangents, so well done. Keep it up. That's great.
Thank you.
So we've got like 20 minutes left of this second session. So does anybody have anything they would like to bring to the table? A question? It could even just be a comment. Whatever you feel you want to share at this point is totally okay. No problem, Emma. Take care, love. Sarah, I feel there's something on your mind.
I don't know really. As I said before, I've been getting little bits and bobs trickling in, but I suppose it's for me, I want to be able to actually sort of know the direction I want to go in, because I just feel like most people have a vision that they want to follow, and then they can, it makes it really easy to once you've got a goal to actually achieve that goal. But for myself, I just feel like I've not got an actual goal that I want to achieve. So it makes it really difficult moving forward. And it's fine going off, like I've started doing some charity work with a cancer recovery charity and various bits and bobs, but I feel like there's something that I should be, I don't know, I feel like I should have my own set of goals as to where I want to go and a vision as to where I want to be moving forward. Yeah, I seem to be lacking that and I don't know why.
So this is the card that I pulled for you. Sorry about the focus.
Okay.
Can you see?
Uh-huh.
Can you see what it is?
Kind of. I can see that there's an artist painting, creating.
Yeah.
And I feel like my creativity is stifled. I feel like I've got so much to offer and I don't know what direction, how I'm going to help people with it. I'm really kind of still as stuck as I was at the beginning of the year.
Have you ever done any paint? Do you paint? Do you draw? You're quite artistic.
I've not really done any painting, but I'm not great at drawing. I'm good at making things. I suppose there are lots of ways you can express yourself with art. I'm not sure.
Because that card is a woman who is getting creative. She's getting messy, but she is bringing something to life. What do you feel would help you?
I don't know. I've just been trusting that if I just keep following the little nudges that come up and sort of go in with things that feel exciting that are offered, then I'll get to where I want to be. And that's fine if that's what it is. But
Yeah,
then
but where do you want to be?
I just want to be helping other people, I think, and making sure that they don't feel how I'd felt in the past.
Which was?
I suppose the feeling stuck and the feeling trapped, no freedom.
Because you were in what situation?
Oh, so I was in a not a good relationship for 25 years. And just, I suppose, abandoning myself and just putting up with so much that I shouldn't have.
So do you talk about that?
When I do the coaching, you mean, or
Just to get clients, is that part of your bio, if you like?
not so much, I don't suppose. I don't suppose I'm extremely vulnerable with people.
So think about definitely your story, the key, the thing in your story that makes you want to help people, because you want to help those people. So you got to speak to those people directly, and that's then your niche, isn't it? And then anything subsets, any different opportunities you get, you can say yes to 100%. You don't, rule anything else out. But if you're looking for, so you say, you want to get to where you want to be, and that's helping people, and it's helping people who were in your situation. And when I asked you about what part of your situation, and you referred it to the relationship you were in and how that kept you trapped and stuck and abandoned yourself, then that's where you really need to start fleshing out. These are the type of people and solutions I have for those type of people.
Yeah.
And that's when it'll start to become more clear.
Yeah, because when I do talk to people, there seems to be so many people that are in a similar situation, and don't have a clue about, knowing how to get out of it.
No, you do. Yeah, so you do. And do they become clients?
I've got a few, but mainly I've been coaching people for different reasons. So yeah, maybe I should just niche it down.
We had somebody say something in the chat. Dee says, Sarah, think about what you've been through. Can you not help
Can I
others?
just say, when I was, I've had a couple of divorces, but I couldn't find a way out of my second marriage. I had my children. I was scared because I didn't have a house. I had to rely on him for money, and I just thought, if I'm going to go away from all this, I can't leave him because I have no money. But it wasn't until I actually listened to a friend that was saying, go to the benefits, go to the social, go and have a talk to somebody. And I actually took that step and did it. But if it hadn't been for that friend, I would never have thought the situation I was in was ever manageable, where I would ever be able to get to be on my own and secure. And I took that step. So you've got such a story to tell, Sarah. You've got so much that you can help people with in your situation that you have been in. You know, you just helping that one person to get that little bit of goodness out of the shitty time that they're in. You would really help somebody.
Yeah, thanks, Dee.
So I just pulled another card to say what is Sarah's niche. Can you see that?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I suppose.
Oh, she's gone. Okay. She'll come back in a minute. It's hard sometimes finding your niche, isn't it? Because you've so lived it. It's hard to then turn it into, package it up, really. But it does start with sharing your story. That's the most simplest way people can resonate. So I don't know if she'll come back, but that she'll watch the replay. But that's the card that she got. So when I said what's her niche, however she interprets that, I'll send her a picture of it in a bit. But that is really helping people reach their potential, isn't it, in a way? Reach their light. So I'll send that to her. So, Jerome, did you raise your hand? Yeah, go for it.
This is so valuable, this session. And it reminds me of when I was in a big crisis, but started to embrace what was happening inside of me, accept it as something I should confront. That from that moment on, all these kind of miracles started to happen, meeting people I would never have met before, in some way sharing a kind of a similar life story, having the same experiences, and just opening up to them about what happened to me. I got back that was really valuable for them too. So so that resonates with me. It's just being aware of your own story and embracing it. And when you learn to heal that, the people who you can help probably will come on your way. They will come to you because they recognize that part, but they will also recognize the fact that you've been through that healing process. Something that just emerged in my mind, listening. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. And there are so many different parts to your story as well. Unless, it's, life isn't linear, is it? There are so many different challenges that we go through from, adolescence to adulthood or early childhood. So you can pick out different stories at different times to then adapt into that niche. It doesn't have to always stay fixed. And I think sometimes we get a bit scared. If I label myself as this type of coach or healer or therapist, am I stuck with it when? So we have so many moving parts to our stories, You know, I could pick out quite a few, from helping people with postnatal depression to helping people who've been through the care system or adopted, to generalizing to people who felt emotionally broken and no confidence and self-esteem. So there are so many different facets to one story that you can tune into at different times. So I think we'll end the session here unless anybody would like to bring anything else to the room. No, we're all good. I can't say your name. I'm so sorry. I'm rubbish with pronunciations. Aga, do you have anything you'd like to say or bring to the table at all? For need any help with anything?
Maybe I would ask how I can navigate these times. I can feel that energy from the world and everything. It's like not sure about these things. It's like I try to focus on my things, but still I can say I can feel the energy because I'm really strongly like empath and what is going on in the world right now.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you. Other people resonate with that. You can feel the tension in the air when you're driving, when you're in the supermarket and stuff like that. It's really difficult.
In social media especially, you know, I do posts for my business and then I see how people are in some ways struggling, but they are not ready to open their minds as well.
Yeah, yeah. And are you looking to help other people?
It's like I'm doing with a wellness business, and yeah, and I can help others who need like finances and who are stuck maybe in 9-to-5 jobs, but they are not ready to open their minds. You know, they think it's scam or something like that, but they don't even have a look what is the company. And so I can feel like it's like, then how you wanna like help, or how you want to handle this situation if you can't open even the mind.
Yeah, some people, when they're so stuck in fear that they're unable at that moment in time to see any other possibility, because it's just too scary in case they get it wrong. So in a way, it's kind of telling the story that, or what you have to offer, in a way that speaks to their pain but also provides a solution. And most people like to hear stories. They don't like to hear facts. We tell stories. So if you think about how you present your offering, if you like, and how you can maybe change it so it lands with somebody, where people like to see themselves in stories. All stories are compelling when the reader goes, "Oh, I feel that. I can see myself. I'm in this." So we need to change the way that you message or something like that, or how you present the message. So you remove any biases, any negative biases to the buyer's mind, and it just sinks in. So when you watch an advert, it's storytelling, really, and it's in a way where we can see ourselves in that. We can feel the other person's pain, or we are experiencing that pain or that need. I want my washing to smell this way, so I don't know, the boy runs down the road and asks for my phone number. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's storytelling to meet that person where they are. So
I was trying. First, what I made about that, I was so burned out like last year when I was looking, because I all the time was asking for some kind of opportunities, but it didn't come that way. Maybe in the same time I didn't look a different way, that I was still stuck in that system either, but I know that I needed to do something else, definitely. And then this year and I put in my mind that this year it will change. And then because I was joining like a couple months ago, I don't remember when you had I still was trying to figure it out, like what I have to do. And then came 2 opportunities which showed that I have to be there. It's like it came in the time that it shows like a sign that I have to be there, because I get as well person who is my mindset coach as a leader. And yeah, and then it's like now I see another thing, that people are not opening their minds. They see there's just one solution at this point. Some see, but many doesn't.
You can talk about that as well, you know, if that's what you're noticing and that's what you're experiencing, then maybe you could talk about that in a way where people go, yeah, she might be right, you know, or maybe I could think about, it's something that they might recognize within themselves. Are you scared, or are you living in fear? Are you scared to get off that, I don't know, 9-to-5 treadmill because you feel there's no other solution, when really you're just chasing happiness, or, you know, whatever it is. But it's maybe you are onto something and you've recognized something that's real and prevalent, and it's how you can then get the story, get the narrative, get the message around the fear of people not opening their mind. And if they do, here's the solution. So you've got to try and package all that up in a way that they go, oh yeah, that is what's happening to me right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I hope that helps, and I'm going to call it a day because I'm absolutely knackered now. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Sorry, my chest is about to give up. Bernie, send me an email and we'll get you on the Smart.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing your story. And thanks again, Andy, for sharing your story, and everybody else who contributed today. And it's lovely to see you. So have a lovely weekend, and you know, maybe I'll do this again in January just to see how everybody is and how the rest of your year goes. So good luck to everybody. Lots of love from me.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.